think I made two grave miscalculations when I decided to grow my beard out so that I could be Wolverine for Halloween. For one, I gravely overestimated how long it would take me to grow my beard out to an appropriate length, and I did it like 2 months early. And for a second, I kind of forgot that I show my face on the internet on a weekly show, so now I'm gonna be all scruffy looking for 2 months. Welcome to Week in Weird. I have quite the interesting story to tell at the end of this video, but you're gonna have to wait to find that out. It'll explain why I didn't do this show last week. But we're gonna start with an interesting story because we have 2 weeks worth of news to get to. A medieval map has revealed the location of a lost Atlantis. But it ain't what you think. This is not the Greek Atlantis. This is the British Atlantis. Unlike the real Atlantis. This one is called Cantrier Gwaelod. I'm just gonna call it British Atlantis. The Lost Kingdom in Wales is said to have sunk beneath the waves, and now researchers may have identified it. For centuries, rumors have circulated about an ancient kingdom called, I can't pronounce that once existed in Wales's Cardigan Bay, before it sank beneath the waves to become the basis for a legendary Welsh Atlantis. The tales of the city have shifted over the years, with some saying that a maiden neglected to stop a well from overflowing over the lands, while later tales blame a drunken gatekeeper who failed to oversee the dikes. Well, legend has it that the bells of the Sunken Kingdom's church can still be heard on quiet evenings. But that's all just legend, because how could an island actually just disappear? It turns out that an island just actually disappeared. Basically, we see the existence of these islands on maps from 2,000 years ago, and then by the mid-1600s, they no longer appear on maps, and that lines up with an era of glacial erosion. Basically, the ice caps melted, and so the water levels rose. And it's not just that the water levels could have possibly risen above the level of these islands, it's that the water rising could have eroded the actual soil that the islands were resting on, because it was particularly soft soil. Bathymetrically, the two islands depicted on the Go map appear to be located approximately consonant with the Sarn-Sinfeline between the Yrstwith and Diffie estuaries, and I don't know why I even attempted this. Basically, these long-lost islands appear to have been real. They just disappeared from sight. And if you too want to disappear from sight, maybe you can try out ExpressVPN. Yeah, seriously. So let me tell you about ExpressVPN. I'm actually really excited to have this as my sponsor because I've been using them for over a year. Hiding my data from my ISP, changing my geolocation, spoofing Netflix so I can watch Spider-Man. I'm telling you, the service is a miracle. Like I said, ExpressVPN prevents your internet service provider from seeing your browsing activity. Incognito mode just does not cut it. ExpressVPN reroutes 100% of your network traffic through their secure encrypted servers. This protects you from sketchy websites, unwanted advertisements, and even the government. You can even change your location. There's 94 countries to choose from. Some websites and services have geo-restricted features. For example, American Netflix does not have the Spider-Man movies, so when I wanted to watch those last week, I had to use ExpressVPN to change my location to a country where they were offered. ExpressVPN touts the fastest speed, 24-hour customer support, and I can assure you, having tested out all of the competition, that they are the easiest to use. There's just one button to press. There's a reason that they've been rated #1 by CNET, The Verge, Mashable, TechRadar, and others. ExpressVPN is your all-in-one VPN provider. Click the link in the description to sign up today and get 3 months free. That way, if you have to Google weird things for your job, nobody can judge you. Now back to the weird things I have to Google for my job. This next story comes to us from Input Magazine. The guy who threw a plush toy at Lady Gaga explains himself. That headline says a lot, especially since I didn't know that somebody threw a plush toy at Lady Gaga. Richie, a 29-year-old nutritionist who lives in Mexico, had been saving up cash to go see Lady Gaga in concert since 2019. I was unaware that there was so much lore to the backstory of this doll incident. It's been almost 10 years since the last time Gaga came to Mexico, so we all know it won't happen soon. Rather than wait another decade for Gaga to come to him, Richie decided to travel to her show in Toronto on August 6th. Apparently this guy was actually like a massive Lady Gaga fan and was part of online communities dedicated to her. So apparently it's a meme in Mexico to throw a plush toy of a character called Dr. Simi at visiting musicians at their concerts as a way of welcoming them to Mexico. Apparently Richie decided that it's a Mexican tradition, and if Gaga isn't coming to Mexico, he's gonna take a little bit of Mexico to her, even though they're in Canada. Little did he know that his meme would cause an international stir. And here's the video. He hit her on the head. Richie insists his gesture was loving. It was never my intention to hit her on the head. I just wanted her to see the plushie or maybe grab it, but it didn't go as planned. Just a cultural misunderstanding, guys. This next story is actually just my favorite, maybe an even better headline than the previous one. Ohio girls' lemonade stand near food festival shut down after complaint. This is the kind of nonsense that you hear as like an urban legend. Like the police came and they shut down an 8-year-old's lemonade stand, but apparently it actually happened. An 8-year-old girl selling lemonade near an Ohio food festival had her operation shut down by local police after they received a complaint. The little girl said, the police were really sad that they had to shut me down, but they gave me $20 to purchase the needed permit. Police received a complaint from festival organizers. The little girl's mother said that the cop looked like he didn't want to have to do it, but I mean, you get a call, he has to do it. He definitely did the right thing, you know, in the situation he was put in. Did he? Did he really? So after the girl got the $20, she was able to get her permit and she reset up her stand on Friday. Numerous people have stopped by the stand since, and Asa has racked in hundreds of dollars. See, the cop did the right thing in that he gave $20 of his own dollars for the girl to continue the operations, and he technically enforced the rules as they are on the books. But did he actually do the right thing by enforcing a really stupid law? That's a philosophical question for you all. I don't like to get too political on my channel. Yeah, I'm not covering this. Nope. So there's a very famous photo of a flying saucer called the Calvin photo, and apparently it's been missing for 30 years. On August 4th, 1990, 2 hikers near Calvin in Scotland took a photograph of a mysterious diamond-shaped flying object hovering in the middle of the sky. For 32 years, the image disappeared from the public eye. But now it has resurfaced thanks to the efforts of British journalist David Clarke. Yeah, it looks like a saucer, alright. This is the first time the public has had access to the elusive image, which has been described as the best UFO photo ever taken. So the 2 hikers took this picture and then immediately gave it to their local newspaper, who turned it over to the British government, who then hid it from sight, which is why the picture was never published. Due to the policy around privacy concerns, the identity of the 2 hikers is not allowed to be revealed until 2072. Technically, with stuff like this, they could have released the picture 30 years after they were first taken in by the Ministry of Defense, but nobody really inquired until 32 years after the incident. Andrew Robinson, who's a senior lecturer in photography, said that the image shows no sign of manipulation. It follows that this is either a genuine unidentified flying object in the sky, or that any construction or manipulation used to create this effect occurred in front of the camera. Basically, the smart photography guy said that whatever this is, was actually captured in the photograph. It's not whatever the 1990s equivalent of Photoshop is. Either it's a real UFO, or these guys made a balloon and then actually took a picture of the balloon. So it's real. I love this comment by Clark. He's 100% sure that someone, somewhere in the military establishment in Britain or the US, knows exactly what the photograph shows. The only thing scarier than UFOs being alien is that they're the government. This next story is just funny. This is the worst formatted website I've ever seen, but we can get through this pretty quick. Basically, this guy drove from Ohio to Florida for vacation. It's a pretty long drive. While he was leaving Florida, he went to a gas station and bought a scratch-off lottery ticket. And he won $1 million. Technically, he won $795,000 because of the taxes on the lottery, because the government needs to find ways of paying for their fake flying saucer program somehow. So he had to drive to the capital of Florida in order to get his $1 million winnings, because when you win that much money on a lottery ticket, you don't just go to the drugstore and hand it in for cash. So he had to go to the headquarters of the lottery in the state of Florida, which was not the direction he was going, because remember, he doesn't live in Florida, he lives in Ohio. So he had to take a 6-hour detour to pick up his almost $800,000 in cash. Now, perhaps the reason for all of this weirdness is because scientist blasts atoms with Fibonacci laser to make an extra dimension of time. Scientists are back at it again, with their fake flying saucers, their lasers, and their bearing of Atlantis. By firing a Fibonacci laser pulse at atoms inside a quantum computer, physicists have created a completely new, strange phase of matter that behaves as if it has 2 dimensions of time. I'm not going to pretend to understand that. I like how they describe it. They say that the new phase of matter, created by using lasers to rhythmically jiggle a strand of 10 ytterbium ions. I don't know, I just find the juxtaposition of a word that I've never heard of, like ytterbium ions, and rhythmically jiggle in the same sentence. It enables scientists to store information in a far more error-protected way, thereby opening the path to quantum computers. They say that this is a completely different way of thinking about time and phases of matter, which is fine, because I don't think about them at all. I just skipped past like 5 paragraphs talking about quantum entanglement, and reached this one that says, this Fibonacci pulsing created a time symmetry that, just like a quasi-crystal in space, was ordered without ever repeating, and just like a quasi-crystal, the Fibonacci pulses also squish a higher dimension pattern onto a lower dimension surface. This is above my pay grade as somebody who talks about funny things on the internet. I just want to make memes that this laser is somehow what caused Ben Shapiro to play Minecraft. And our final story of the day is that 2 days ago, August 27th, was National NipFest2022. But don't worry, if you missed it, you can still go on Twitter, hashtag NipFest2022. You can look at all the pictures, like this one, and this one, and this one. And let me say, it's funny because it's actually about catnip, and it's not what you were thinking. This actually trended on Twitter, and most of the tweets were not about the actual thing that it was celebrating, which again is cats. It was mostly people being confused about the title of the hashtag and posting incorrect assumptions about it. I'm just gonna leave this picture up on screen. This comes to us courtesy of TY Cooker on Twitter. As I say that the names scrolling by are my patrons. If you'd like to join them, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Of course, down there and in the pinned comment on this video, there's a link to my ExpressVPN promo. And of course, it would be nice if you subscribed and rang the bell. You can follow me on Twitter at GIBI_Devin. And now, of course, I have a story to tell. I didn't make an episode of Week in Weird last week, and that's because my computer broke. Every time I turned it on, there was a boot error. Basically, one of my hard drives was corrupted. It's like 12 years old, so it makes sense that it wasn't working anymore. When the computer was on and idling, sometimes it would make a very loud grinding noise, and that's probably no good. So I took my PC, unplugged it, brought it downstairs, and opened it up and took out the hard drive, and then closed it up and brought it back upstairs and turned it back on. And it was still making a loud grinding noise. That was not the problem. So I thought maybe one of my fans was the problem. For some reason, my computer was overreacting while the fan was going. So I looked at my GPU settings and found out that while the computer was idling, it was using 100% of the GPU's capabilities. That's usually evidence of a Bitcoin miner, so that's no good. So I used my virus detection software and found out I had quite a few viruses. So I had to delete all the viruses off of my computer. And then I thought maybe the issue would go away, maybe the loud grinding sound would go away. And I was wrong. Turns out that the overuse of the fan, because the computer was mining Bitcoin while idling, had broken one of the bearings in one of my fans. So basically the fan's broken, so that's why it's making the grinding noise. So I had to get a new fan. So I went out and got a new fan. It took like 2 days to arrive from Amazon. Took my computer, unplugged it, brought it back downstairs, opened it up again, took the fan out, put the new fan back in, closed it up, brought it back upstairs, and then I went to record this video, and my microphone didn't work. I didn't know what caused it. I thought maybe my antivirus software was a little too overzealous and had blocked the driver on the microphone for some reason. Thought maybe the virus, the Bitcoin miner, was embedded in my microphone. It was haunted. I had no idea what the problem was. I tried a million different things. Plug it, unplug it, re-unplug it, update the driver, uninstall the driver. Legit, I had to uninstall Windows and then reinstall it on my computer, which meant I then had to reinstall every single program I have. And I thought that maybe that would fix the driver issue, and it did not. So I uninstalled the mic driver, reinstalled it. I uninstalled Windows and reinstalled it, and still my mic didn't work. And I was fed up and frustrated. And I swear to God, I unplugged the mic, which I had done several times, and I smacked it, like I hit it with my hand really hard, and then plugged it back in, and now it's working again. So yeah, I had to uninstall Windows unnecessarily, because the solution was just to hit my electronic really hard. I hope that this is a lesson to all of you.